Good day, everyone. In an expected follow up article, we now have a headline in News 24 that reads that Oppenheimer's daughter says release of party funders' names may scare off donors in future. And it's definitely something that I expected. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. It means that people can't do things in the dark, that things are public so that the public can actually see what's happening behind the scenes. I think this is very important. And in the sub headlines, it reads Mary Slack, daughter of Harry Oppenheimer, says legislation forcing party donors into the open may have a chilling effect on contributions. Slack pumped 15 million to the coffers of the Democratic Alliance, their largest single donation this quarter. In fact, it was 94% of all their funds. Only 3 of the 502 political parties declared financial contributions above the 100,000 Rand threshold. Benefactors may balk at the enforced transparency of the Political Party Funding Act, says Mary Slack, a generous philanthropist and heir to the Oppenheimer family fortune, whose 15 million donation to the Democratic Alliance has been made public. The 77-year-old daughter of South African industrialist Harry Oppenheimer was the largest single donor named in the Electoral Commission of South Africa's IEC party funding disclosures. Her contribution amounted to nearly 94% of the DA's donations for the quarter, according to the first IEC funding report on Thursday. While Slack would have been alive to the fact that the donation would be made public in support of a proper functioning democracy, she felt the new legislation may be a stumbling block for benefactors. Asked if the duty to declare donations would deter her largesse in future, she said, and I quote, "It is a deterrent, I must say, because now I have people like you, News 24, phoning me. And to be fair, I think it will be a deterrent for many. To be honest, I think a lot of parties haven't declared anything because of this." Close quote. The Political Party Funding Act requires parties to declare all donations above 100,000 Rand. I thought that should be lowered to 10,000 Rand, and that can still be taken to the Concord because you can still make multiple donations like that and still hide things from the public, and enjoins the IEC to publish a repository of these funders every quarter. So every 3 months, they have to make known who are funding these parties. The chilling effect of this newly prescribed reporting mechanism is in plain view. A total of 502 political parties, among them the EFF, failed to disclose their funders. Beyond the DA, only the ANC and Action SA made submissions. Well, this isn't entirely true. As I've said before, the IEC said that they actually contacted many of the parties who said that they can't afford, because they're not getting state funding like the parties that are represented, to actually pay people to go and check their funds. And they have sent declarations to the IEC and the IEC said how many of them did so. And there was a couple of 100 parties that did declare that they didn't receive any donations over 100,000 Rand. So it's not that they didn't declare anything. The DA and the ANC declared donations amounting to 15.9 million and 10.7 million respectively, considering the latter financial woes, unable to pay staff salaries and resorting to crowdfunding to keep the lights on. The numbers are paltry. Absolutely. I mentioned that yesterday. You cannot do what they have been doing with the funds they're getting now. And I said when this bill came out that it was going to be a death blow to them. And I want to thank Mogoeng for driving this to the point that he did. Herman Mashaba's unrepresented Action SA declared 3.3 million in donations from some colorful entities. And it's important that people know who they are so that you can see who are behind these people, who are pulling the strings. You know, the puppet masters. Slack said that the donation had been for the benefit of democracy. She said, "I believe strongly in democracy, and it seems to me that unless one supports an opposition party, we are not going to end up with a proper functioning democracy." Commitment to promoting liberal policy. Another DA donor, Longlands Village Pty Limited, blessed the party with 200,000 Rand. According to publicly available documents, the company is linked to a plush housing development in Stellenbosch. There you will see the mafia coming in. You will also see in the past the winelands and many of the large farmers supporting the DA, with its directors tied to other multi-billion rand property projects across the province the party controls politically. And this is where you will start seeing how money talks and get people to do specific things. And those of you that are members of my channel that have actually watched Exiting the Money Trap, you will understand how this all fits together. And once you realize that the politicians, the banks, the property developers, and the lawyers all work together in unison to absolutely annihilate your right to be a citizen and be a subject instead of a citizen, then you will understand the big picture. Jacques Plaut, a fund manager at Allen Gray, contributed 100,000. The Friedrich Neumann Foundation, an independent German organization committed to promoting liberal policy and politics around the world in the form of human rights, the rule of law, democracy, innovation, digitalization, and free trade, according to its website, made a donation in kind of just short of 500,000 rand. They've been donating for a long time for the DA's Young Leaders program. The Danish Liberal Democracy program, which contributed 184,000 rand, is already an open partner with the DA. A blurb on the website reads, "Our partner in South Africa is Democratic Alliance, the Liberal Opposition Party." As for Mashaba's action essay, born of his public and thorough departure from the DA in 2019, a businessman with close ties to Israel was the party's largest reported donor. No surprises there. Close ties to Israel. Martin Moshal, who contributed 2.5 million, is no stranger to left field investments. According to Reuters, Moshal is one of the funders of a planned moon landing operation headed by Israeli space group SpaceIL. In July, the venture had secured $70 million in funding for their planned 2024 lunar landing from 3 private donors, including Moshal, according to news reports. Moshal was also revealed as a secretive backer of Betway, an online gambling platform. Second on the list of Action SA's donors sits luxury holiday resort Brahman Hills Property Limited, which controls Brahman Hills Hotel, Spa, Wedding and Conference Resort in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands. Other funders include a clothing store from Durban and Mashaba's own Black Like Me, the iconic haircare brand, contributed 121,490 rand and 26 cents in kind to the party. So there you have it, people. This is what's been disclosed. It's important that you know these things, that you talk about it, understand what it means, and understand why we need a completely new political system under a new constitution where we can directly elect our leaders. This current system is not working. And beating the same horse over and over with the same stick is not going to make the horse perform. So you need to change the system. You need to saddle up a new horse that looks differently, feels differently, and actually runs differently. So at the end of the day, we need to make that change. The people of South Africa, it's not going to happen any other way. And there's already a movement on the ground doing exactly that. And you'll be able to vote for that movement during the elections. When I go through all the parties, you'll be able to see who will enable you freedom in future and who will not. And you can make up your own mind and make that decision in your life. The only democratic thing you'll get to do in this country until we have a new democratic political system or more democratic political system is to draw that cross. It is the only thing you can do democratic in South Africa at the moment. Thank you very much. Till the next video.